Let's get real.
Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Real Talk with Menashe. I am your host, Menashe Chinyanganya. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Listen, it really was an accident. It really wasn't meant to be, but I kind of took the month of November off. Life got really busy and hectic, and before you knew it, it was the end of the month. But that was not on purpose, so my bad, y'all. But let's do a little catch up. I want to do a little catch up. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving literally just happened. Hope you enjoyed the food, all that jazz, and that you're doing well. Oh, I don't know. I want to catch up. So much has happened. And then so much has not happened. You know what I mean? I don't know. What is new? Well, first and foremost, you guys, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you may not know, but I was on the Today Show. I was on TV, okay? And I'm going to tell you exactly how it happened, and it's just such an interesting story. So I post on TikTok, little thoughts on my brain, like Real Talk with Menashe. I feel like my podcast is long form if I have something I really want to expand on, but if I just have this little one-off thing, I will post a TikTok and keep it moving. Oh my gosh, but tangent already, but apparently TikTok might be coming to an end. I don't know how real or true that is. It's been said, but is it actually going to happen? They're saying that January 17th, I believe, is the last day that the US will be able to use TikTok. Don't know how true that is. Hoping it's not true, just because that is my favorite platform to post stuff. It just feels very I don't know, I feel safest on there for some reason. I just post my little thing and I go. But anyway, it might be leaving us. We'll see, whatever. I might start taking Reels more serious. I actually do need to start taking Reels more seriously. I'm figuring this out with you guys right now. But what I post on TikTok, I really need to post also on Reels. There's just something about posting on Instagram that just doesn't give what it is on TikTok. I feel like you understand what I'm saying, but I don't know. I might be forced to at this point because TikTok might be leaving us. But that being said, back to the topic. I post on TikTok. I had posted, so the Wicked movie was coming out, and I had posted pretty much a video saying, listen, I don't want to hear you guys singing in the theater, okay? I want to hear Cynthia, I want to hear Ariana, I want to hear the actors, I don't want to hear you. So everyone just zip it in the movie. That's pretty much what I said, right? That video went viral, and I don't remember what day I posted it, but a few days later, I got this DM from a lady who works for NBC News, and she was gonna do a written article on put it on the website, and she had asked if she could interview me, do a phone interview, and then use my quotes or whatever for her website thing. I don't know why I can't explain this. When you don't follow someone, it's not a mutual following. It's your DMs go to the request, and I'm really bad with checking my requests. I realize that I need to be better with it, but I'm really not the best. So for whatever reason, because I don't even typically check it like that, I checked that night and I saw it. So she had messaged me in the morning, I saw it in the evening, and I remember laughing, and I remember being yo, this is so crazy that it's even got to her news feed, her FYP, whatever, and that she wants to interview me on this. This is so crazy. But that being said, me seeing it in the evening, I didn't know if it was too late or not. So I was just hey, I'd love to do it, but just let me know if you still need people, whatever. Long story short, it ended up being too late. She already had her, because the way she expressed it in the message, it sounded like it was a very quick turnaround, the news story. So I had a feeling that I may have missed it, and I did. But you know what, you guys, to be very honest with you, when she sent that to me, she's it's already passed. Thank you so much, though. If there's ever anything else, I'll reach out. When I got that message, I was totally okay with it. I wasn't as bummed as you would think maybe you'd be for missing it, because first of all, I was never expecting this, so there was that. Second of all, when I saw that she'd even reached out to me, I remember just being this is so crazy and so cool. And I was if it can happen once, it can happen again. So I was just grateful that I even came across her feed, to be honest with you. And I was you know what, this was cool enough on its own. I remember telling people that were around me, listen, I literally got reached out to by this woman, and it's legit and everything. And so I just left it at that. I was like, this was cool, and I'll take it for what it is. Little did I know that a few days later, okay, I would get a phone call from my mom at 7 a.m. She calls me, and I'm like, hello. And she's like, I think I see you on my screen right now. Is this you on my screen? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you're on the Today Show right now. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, what, were you talking about Wicked or something? And I was like, oh my gosh. Yes, I was, Mom. My mom doesn't have a TikTok. So I was like, oh my gosh, I was. And so I was on the Today Show because the day that Wicked actually premiered, they again were having this like debate, like, should you sing in the theater, should you be quiet or whatever, and a little snippet of my video ended up on the Today Show. So that was just so cool for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm on the Today Show. How cool is that? Second of all, I found out from my own mother, who watches the Today Show every morning, and she always records it. And she just happened to like, because she told me later, like, she's like, I wasn't even gonna watch it today. I was gonna watch it later. I was gonna go on a walk, and you were like in the first, like, you know how they'll like kind of show you like a brief kind of like overview of what the show's going to be about, and apparently I was in that thing, and so she was watching and she saw me, and so it was just so cool finding out from her. And here's a crazy thing, you guys, they don't let you know when you're going to be like on the Today Show or any news thing. I don't think they don't like inform you. They just kind of use your stuff, and obviously like it makes sense when you post on a social platform, like that can be reused, I guess, for news and stuff like that. I just wish they would like tell a girl, like let a girl know, you know? Because if my mom had been watching, this is actually the cool thing though, is there were quite a few people that reached out to me that day that let me know that they had seen me on the Today Show. So that was really cool. But I myself would have never known had it not been for people in my life that watched. So it's like, you know, maybe let a girl know. But that being said, I did find out. It was really cool. And it was just such a cool moment. And honestly, like, it just felt so nice because, again, when the other lady had reached out to me a couple days earlier and I'd missed it, I was just kind of like, you know what, it's fine, like whatever. And so for me to end up on the Today Show a couple days later, it was just so cool. I was like, oh my gosh, like here I was in my slumber and people were like editing me into like the morning news. So it was really cool. And so, yeah, that's how I ended up. And then I found out actually today, because now it's been like a week since the movie aired. Like the movie's out now and I've seen it, but I just found out today from my coworker that I was also on the NBC Nightly News Kids. So I think actually which I don't even know I was apparently on that. I think that she was saying this video has probably been in a lot of different places and I just didn't know. So that being said, it was really cool. It's also really funny because let me tell you something. If you're curious to see the video, like go look it up. But like, it's just me being like everybody on mute and it just like cuts to that. Like it's actually so ridiculous. It's like so not insightful. Like so like it's so funny. And direct, but I mean I meant what I said, but it was just like the clip just really had me like cackling. I was like, oh okay, like that's what we chose to use, that's fine. It was the most important part, I guess. It was just funny, but yeah, that was like a cool little moment that I had and wanted to share with you guys. And one day, you guys, I will be on the Today Show, like physically walking in. Like this is just a little stepping stone, you know what I mean? Like I'm just excited, and cool things like that. It's just cool when it happens to anyone, and it's just really cool that it happened to me. So speaking of Wicked, I saw the Wicked movie, and I saw it on Thanksgiving evening actually. So I did wait a little bit. Guys, it was amazing. It was so good. Like, are we surprised? Of course not. We had seen all the promo. We'd seen all the press. I was so excited to see it. I personally saw Wicked on Broadway. It's the first show I ever saw on Broadway. When I was in 10th grade, my choir got invited to sing at Carnegie Hall. Yes, Carnegie Hall, I believe. In New York, and we sang with a whole bunch of other choirs. We auditioned and we got in and we sang this like long piece of music. Do I remember what it was? No, I know it was another language though, and I know that it took forever to learn, but it was such a cool thing we got to do. And then we had spent like a couple days in New York, and my choir teacher, may she rest in peace, just created such a beautiful, like memorable trip that I'll never forget. And we went to go see Wicked on Broadway, and it was just so phenomenal, and I just loved it, fell in love with it. And it was just so cool. So getting to see this movie, I was so excited. As someone that was in choir and has just always been loved the arts, like I was excited. I was worried is so dramatic, but I was like, am I going to see Ariana as Ariana in this, or am I going to see her as Glinda? And I really saw her as Glinda. Like she really was that character, and that was really exciting to watch and see. Her and Cynthia singing, oh my gosh, Defying Gravity, oh my gosh, so good. Like none of this is really shocking to me. I was just so happy to be able to sit down and finally like watch it. And the fact that it's only part 1 is tragic, because we have to wait a whole year to see part 2, and part 2 is actually quite tragic. So and also all the foreshadowing and stuff that was in the first movie and stuff. It was just so well done, the set. And then I don't know if you guys know this, but like all the singing was actually done like as a shot. So it wasn't like a track in the back. Like they were singing that for real. Cynthia was like flinging herself, doing all these flips and tricks, and she was like screaming Defying Gravity. Like the girl is talented. They did such a great job, everybody in it. It was so well casted, and 10s all around. I can't wait for well, I can, because like we need to live out the year, you know what I'm saying? But like I'm excited to see it next year, and hopefully it's just as good. I mean, I know it will be, but I don't know, you guys. I can also say thankfully nobody was singing. Everyone had seen my video by that point. And nobody was singing in the theater, so thank God. It was really great, guys. If you haven't seen it, I recommend seeing it. Get into it. If you're not into it, get into it. I think you'll really enjoy it. Yeah, go watch. In other news, you guys, drum roll please. Your girl turns 30 in an hour. I turned 30 actually in less than an hour, because as I'm filming this right now, it's about to be my birthday, but by the time you see it, I will be 30 already. But yes, I am turning 30. I am 30 in 15 minutes. So that is pretty much the big topic, the big discussion of today. For me, I've always loved birthdays. I like celebrating them. I've never been one to cry or get upset that I'm getting older. Oh my gosh. I just had a flashback. I might have talked about this before, but there was a girl, I remember it was like, we were waiting to go into school. We were in elementary, maybe like 5th grade. I don't know, one of those grades or something. And we're sitting getting ready, like waiting for the bell to ring so we can go into school. And she's like sobbing. She's like crying. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Actually, you know what? I think I knew it was her birthday. And I said, oh my gosh, happy birthday. And then she started crying. And I literally was like, what's wrong? And she's like, I don't want to get older. And I remember even then being like, you need to relax. You're literally turning like, I don't know, 13, 14, I don't even know, like for you to be crying like this, it's a bit much. With that being said, like your girl is turning 30. As it's gotten closer, I've had a whole year, I guess, to cope, but it really hasn't been much coping. 3 days ago, I went on this walk because I loved going on long walks. And after I went on my walk, I kind of sat in my car and I reflected and I was like, oh my gosh, like you're turning 30, that's so crazy. Getting older is a blessing, and I don't really dwell on it, because even if I was upset about it, like it doesn't change the fact that I'm getting older, that I'm turning 30, So I personally see it as a waste of time, but everyone has their process, like whatever. But, when I was sitting there reflecting, I was like, you know what? I really want to do an episode on, with it being my birthday and all, I really want to do an episode of things that I've learned in my 20s, and just things that were good, things that were bad, like whatever, and hopefully give advice and like you can learn something from it. Because yeah, that's what's happening. I'm getting older, and hopefully as I'm getting older, I'm getting wiser. I better be, because otherwise, y'all, what are we even doing? But yeah, so that's my main topic for today is I'm saying goodbye to my 20s. And I'm going to talk about things that I've learned that hopefully you guys can relate to, learn from me. Don't make the same mistakes, whatever. Comparison is the thief of joy. Do not compare yourself to anyone. Do not compare yourself to anyone. I don't care if they're in the same field as you, do the same thing as you. Like, it does not matter, Do not compare yourself to them, because everyone's on their own path, their own journey. People accomplish things at different times. It happens differently for everybody. Just because you've done one thing one way doesn't mean that it's going to work the same for me, vice versa. Just because you're successful now doesn't mean I won't be successful in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Focus on you, stay in your lane, do not compare yourself. it's a trap. It really, really is a trap. I feel like a lot of the things, the way I go about my life is a lot different than like people I went to school with and stuff. The way they go about theirs, like I feel like we've taken two different routes, but neither one of them is wrong. You know, it's just different. And so trying to compare myself to people that are doing different things in their life right now or in different phases of their life would be a waste of time and kind of detrimental to mine, because not like I have all these other goals and things that I'm focusing on that maybe they're not, or they've taken a different path. And if they're happy, they're happy. You know what I mean? And if I'm happy, I'm happy. But you start to be unhappy when you start to compare yourself. You start to feel like you're lacking something, when in reality, you're not lacking anything. You're just on your own path, and everybody's path looks different. And once this really clicks and locks in, it'll change your life. I feel like for me, I'm just like, comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's really easy to fall into comparison, especially when it's like people that you admire, people that you know, people that are in the same field as you, do the same thing as you. You're like, oh, well, they keep getting all these wins. Why can't I? Or they get to do this. Why can't I? Again, you never know what people had to do to get to where they are. Not that what they did was bad. It's just different. Like, you just don't know what they did, and it's really not your business. You focus on you. You do what you can do, and you'll be okay, and you'll get to where you need to be. You have to trust the timing. You have to trust God's timing. I always trust God's timing. Well, that's a lie. I don't always trust God's timing, but I try. I actively try, because I have to. You know what I mean? Like, we're all doing this thing called life where we don't know what comes next, you know? And a lot of faith has to take place. And you just have to believe that, okay, I'm doing the best I can. I'm focusing on this, and I'm going to pray that it works out. I'm going to hope that it works out. I'm going to do my thing. And if it doesn't, I'll pivot if I need to pivot. But, you know, I'm not going to look to the left or to the right. I'm just going to do my thing, and it's going to be okay. My second thing is the importance of setting up boundaries. Set up boundaries and keep the boundaries. The boundaries don't work if you don't follow them, okay? You have to set the boundaries. You have to keep the boundaries. Everyone, I've learned, this is something I've really like had to come to terms with in my 20s, is like, everyone is not going to follow you into every season of your life. There are some people that are going to drop off. And it could be for a whole bunch of different reasons. It could be because you guys see things differently now. It can be because, you know, they just, you know, don't want to move forward the way you want to move forward. It doesn't always even have to be a bad thing, but everyone's not going to follow you into every season, and you kind of have to be okay with that. But on the flip side, also just understanding your boundaries and not letting people cross them, and having like steadfast boundaries, like having boundaries that are actually like people take seriously. You know what I mean? It can be easy to bend boundaries for people that you care about. Obviously, it's easy to keep boundaries for people that you don't care about, but for people that you care about, it can be really hard to keep boundaries. But that's when you need to keep them, because the people that are meant to be in your life will respect them, or respectfully, they've got to go, you know, because if you don't have boundaries for yourself and you let people walk over you, or, you know, you start to feel bad, you know, when that's really not how it should be. And so that's just something for me I've come to terms with, is having boundaries, sticking to them, understanding that this is what is best for me and this is what I need to do for myself. And then also just being open to the fact that, like, again, everyone's not going to be in my life for everything. Some people are in your life for just a season, and they were there, you know, you guys, maybe there was a lesson there or something you need to grow up together, whatever it was. Maybe they were really helpful to you, or a companion. Like, I don't know, like there's a whole bunch of different reasons that someone might be in your life for a season. And then there's some people that get to stay in your life for many seasons. And that's also such a beautiful thing. And you kind of just need to know the difference and be understanding, and just be like, okay with the fact that some things do come to an end. I think I've struggled with that in the past. I think I've held on to things longer than I should have, for the sake of memories, for the sake of time. That's another thing too, is that people can come into your life. I know it's so nice to have friends that you've had for such a long time. Those friends are very precious and special too, because they've been in your life, they know you, they've seen you in different stages. There's also something to be said for those friends that come into your life at a certain time, maybe later on, and something just clicks and it works. I think, you know, those friends too, they meet you at where you are in life, and maybe they're at that exact same place and they're exactly who you need. And it's just so wonderful too. So you don't have to hold on to friendships or relationships just because they've been in your life for so long. I know you're comfortable with them, but it doesn't mean that it's healthy for you anymore. But at the same time, like, maybe some people leave your life and come back, whatever. As long as you have boundaries and you understand the people that are worth, having the hard conversations with. And then there's people where it's like, you know what? Our time has come to an end. I think that's something that once you master that, like, you're good. You really are solid. Another big thing for me is taking people off a pedestal. I have unintentionally put people on a pedestal before, and it's the worst thing you can do, because again, these are people that I've cared about, and I didn't mean to put them on a pedestal. I don't think anyone should be put on a pedestal because, well, first of all, nobody is perfect, and a lot of people everyone makes mistakes. So putting people on a pedestal is just a really bad idea, because when they disappoint you, it just hurts more. It just feels like an attack, when in reality you put them in a place in your life that they really should never have been. But also just understanding that people are human, and even the ones you love the most will make mistakes, and you kind of just have to be okay with that, because you want people to be forgiving and loving with you when, like, you make mistakes, when I make mistakes, so just showing that grace. But if there's some people that you've put on a pedestal, take them off, take them down, whoever it is, whatever, like, really, because that is a recipe for disaster, honestly. When I've put people on a pedestal, I've had to take them down, and that's harder than never putting them up there in the first place, because I have to come to terms with the fact that I actually did this. I put them on the pedestal. They never deserved to be there. It doesn't mean they're a bad person, but they never deserved to be on the pedestal that I put them on. So I now need to take them down. I need to analyze the relationship for what it is. And that can be really hard too. So to avoid all that, just try not to do that. And if you've done it, then just take them down, okay? And move from there, and it'll be okay. You'll navigate it. You'll figure it out. As someone that has put people on a pedestal before and taken them down, I've been okay. I've gone to the other side. You're better off for it. I'm 100% better off for it, because we're all human beings. So like, how crazy is it for me to be, it's just crazy. But sometimes life, goes on, and you don't really realize what you're doing. Like I said, I never purposely did that. It just kind of happened. But then once I realized it, I adjusted. And so that's something that for me in my 20s has been really important, and something that you guys should consider as well. A perspective that's really changed my life, specifically in this year, my last year, in my 20s, was the phrase "win the day." Win the day. I think, for me, it can be so easy to get caught up in these big goals you have and everything. And it gets kind of overwhelming, because you want to be successful and you want to be able to accomplish all these things, but some of it feels so far away that you can get so overwhelmed that you just don't even do it. You know what I mean? I know for me, when I get really, really overwhelmed, I kind of shut down a little bit. So winning the day has been really, really helpful to me, because all I have to focus on is that day and how I can win that day, those 24 hours. Have I done everything that I can do to win that day? And winning the day will be different every day, depending on what your day looks like, and the energy that you have, and the goals that you have, and what's going on. But that for me has really changed my perspective on things, because if you're constantly winning the day, eventually you will get to the finish line, to whatever the goal is or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. You will get there. But instead of trying to map everything out at one time, if I start to get overwhelmed, I'm like, you know what? I'm just trying to win this day. I'm trying to make good choices for today. I'm trying to do the best I can do today. I'm trying to work hard today. It's also a huge motivator for me. If I feel like I'm slacking, I'm like, let me win this day, because I just need to win today. Okay? Tomorrow will take care of itself. Tomorrow I'll do that. But today I just need to win this. And it just helps me go harder, and it helps me try to be the best version of myself that I can be for that day. So that's something I'm definitely forever really going to try to use, is just win the day. Shift your perspective. And I've realized by doing that, I get so much farther. And I get so much more done. Oh my gosh. It's 12:01. Guys, I'm officially 30. Happy birthday. Okay. I'm 30. Crazy. Take calculated risks. Guys, you have one life. Take calculated risks. Can't talk today. Take risks, okay? Do things. Try things, okay? Calculated, because I just don't feel like you should just do anything on a whim. I just feel like that's the whole YOLO thing. I understand how fun it is to say, but it really is not the smartest move, if we're being honest. But taking risks, you have to. You have one life. You have one life. If there's something that you've constantly been wanting to do that's been in the back of your mind, do it. As long as it's not harming anybody, that's what I always say. As long as it's not harming anybody, do it. Try it, okay? Live your life. Please, oh my gosh, live your life. Do your thing. Who cares what people say about you? Literally, who cares? People are going to talk about you. People are going to talk about you, okay? It's okay. It's literally okay. Who cares? That's not your business. It's not your business that people are talking about you, okay? I never make it my business when people talk about me, because if they want to talk about me, they can always say it to my face, and nobody has. Okay, clock that. But at the same time, it's like, I'm doing this for me. So I don't really care if people are talking about it. You know what I mean? Whether it's positive or negative, like, it's not about them. It's for me. I'm doing this because I love this. Even this podcast, guys, this podcast, anything Real Talk with Minaj related. I've always wanted to do this. I love it so much. I have so much fun. It's fun for me. I don't care if anybody talks bad about it. I don't have time to be embarrassed. Embarrassed for what? Guys, embarrassment is such a waste of time. Okay? It is such a waste of time to be embarrassed. People are talking about you. So what? Who cares? Now what? So they're talking about you. Now what? Exactly. Absolutely nothing. Like, life keeps going. Keep doing your thing. Okay? Because like I said, I've said this before. Everybody always gets it once you're successful in whatever you're doing. They might talk about you, but then when you're successful, and you're not doing it for their approval. That's the thing. You're doing it because in your heart, you love it and you enjoy it. Okay. So whether they support you or don't support you, it doesn't matter because it was never for them. But at the same time, embarrassment will keep you from doing things and trying things and taking risks because you're so worried about what everybody else has to say about it. But why does their opinion matter more than what is in your heart? Why does that matter? Who cares? Who cares? I just need that to I need you guys to lock in on this for real. If there's something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, do it, okay? Take the calculated risk. See if it's something you can accomplish. If it's been on your mind or heart for a long time, it probably is something that you really do want to do. Try it. See what happens. You're not stuck to it for the rest of your life if you don't want to do it, okay? But just try the thing. Put yourself out there. You never know what could happen, okay? I laid in my bed and I made a video about how everyone needed to shut up during the Wicked movie. And my clip was on the Today Show, okay? That just happened. I made the video because I wanted to make the video. I just did it. People resonated with it. Cool. If people hadn't resonated with it and it had gotten no traction, cool. I posted the video anyway because that's what I wanted to do. I'm so passionate about this because there's so much freedom on the other side of not caring what other people think about you. There's so much freedom. I can't even express. Like, I just want you guys to live your best life. And, you know, again, calculated risks are important. I'm not out here saying YOLO, you only live once. You do only live once, but don't be an idiot. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, do things that make you happy. Like, do things that you enjoy. And that's something that, you know, in this year specifically, in my 29th year, I just really learned, because I feel like I've always been the type of person to be kind of out there, like a bit more extroverted. I'm extroverted, introverted, but like that's a story for another day. But as far as like, you know, certain aspects of myself, my personality, I've always kind of been like whatever. But then there are parts of me too that I think everyone struggles even. That's, you know, you can be a bit more reserved or a bit more like, oh, I wonder what people will think about this. Even if I'm not saying that out loud, I think you being hesitant is just an indicator that, like, you know, you're a bit nervous, you're a bit scared of something. But you have to have faith and believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, why would anybody else? You know, and you know, I'm really grateful and lucky in my case where I've had people that believe in me and have been so supportive of me. So supportive. But it's never going to work unless I decide that I'm going to do it. And it's not going to matter if other people support me, don't support me, talk about me, don't talk about me, like whatever it is, I'm going to do it for me. Okay. And that's just where the game changes. That's my advice to you guys, is just being you, doing the things that make you happy, going after your dreams, your ambitions, even if it's, you know, something out of the box, it's strange, you don't get the support you thought you would get or whatever, you have to remember you're not doing it for them. So keep that in mind and keep pushing, because you just never know what's on the other end. You never, ever, ever know. I'm so grateful to be at a place in my life too where I really don't care too much about other people's opinions. This is the thing. They say that in your 30s too. They say that you don't care. You start to care a bit less. And that's great. But let me tell y'all something. I stopped caring a while ago. So I'm scared. I'm actually a little scared for how much I'm not going to care in my 30s, you know? But again, like, I have my core people around me. I know those people I need to turn to. Like, if they tell me, listen, like, if they were to say, like, okay, Menashe, like, this is crazy or something, or they had some serious concern, I know those people I can go to. I know the people that are in my core group that have my best interests at heart. My last thing that I've really learned in my 20s is the importance of routine. Routine is such a game changer. Like, being consistent in what you do and having a routine that works for you will really, really, really change your life. Again, we're all different people and we all have different things that we might need as far as a routine is concerned. Some people, they got to plan it out from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to bed, right? Some people just need a morning routine or an evening routine or whatever your life needs, you know, you can figure that out. But routine is so important, and sticking to it. It will really change your life. It just gives you a sense of just like calm, knowing that you have a routine, you can stick to it. It's something that you can do. It's something that helps you be a better person. It works for you, whatever that is. Just having a routine, sticking with it really changes your life. It changed mine for sure. I have different routines now that I know that I need, you know? And yeah, maybe there's one day or something here, something comes up, I can't do it, but ultimately, I'm going to try to stick to my routines because I know that they help me be a better person, and it's just something that is good for me. And so, yes, routines. Find your routine, stick to it. Thank me later. I'm just really grateful to God for how he's kept me in my 20s, honestly, through the poor mistakes that I made, the poor decisions, guys, just whatever, just being a bit reckless and I'm acting like I was a crazy person. I really wasn't, but you know how it is, like, life happens. And I'm just really grateful for, you know, just everything that I learned, the bad, the good, all of it. It's just made me into the person that I am. And I'm just really grateful to be turning 30, to officially be 30. And I'm so excited for what this decade will bring. I really feel like 29 specifically, I mean, I could break down like every year for you, I guess. But 29 specifically was such a turning point for me. And I think part of why it was a turning point for me is because I knew it was my last year in my 20s and I really wanted to maximize it and get everything I could out of it. But also just, I don't know, something about this year, it's just been really like a turning point for me where I needed to go through this year. I went through a lot of growth in this year. I, you know, went through a lot of lows in this year, honestly. But like, the person I am today, like, I'm just so grateful to God for everything that he's done for me, truly. Like, I'm just so excited for my 30s, and I'm excited for the direction I'm going in and just where I'll be looking back, you know, at whatever age. You know, I really just believe that my 30s are going to be my best years. And I believe, and maybe you need to hear this, at whatever age you're at, like, you can accomplish anything at any age. I think people try to put a lot of pressure on 20s, me included, because when you're 10, you know, being 30 is like so distant, and like your 20s, you're like, oh, like I was that person in like elementary school that said I was going to be married by like 25 and like have 2 kids or whatever. And that just wasn't my story. But that being said, it was for the best. Like, it was really for the best. Like, I wasn't ready at 25. But yeah, you can accomplish anything at any age, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I don't care the age. You can accomplish anything at any age. I feel like all I want in this life is to constantly, no matter the age, be glowing up. I just want the glow up to be constant, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. I just feel like the growth should never be ending. The glow up should always be happening. And like, that's just what I want for myself in this life. So being 30 now in this new decade, I'm just, you know, wishing for, I mean, obviously all the good things, but just to continue growing and learning and being successful and winning the day and just seeing like what is in store for me in my life. Like, I don't know. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. I'm really grateful. And I just want to say that I'm so thankful to each and every one of you that has like listened and supported me, even with this podcast. Like, this is something I started at 29, and it's like literally a baby. It's a child. It's almost a year old. But it's so new for me, and I'm still learning and figuring things out. But like, I'm just so grateful for the journey that you guys have decided to come on with me. And like, guys, the sky's the limit. Like, I'm just so excited to see how everything will go. And I'm grateful. I'm going to celebrate 30. I'm going to live it up. 30. But, yeah, I'm just excited. And I thank you guys for listening. And I hope you got something out of whatever I just said. And here's to hoping that my 30s are my best years yet. So thank you guys so much for listening. Sorry for abandoning you in November. I will not be doing that in December. I want to finish out the year strong with you guys, and I'm wishing you guys an amazing holiday season. It's officially December 1st as I talk to you guys, and it's the holiday season. It's Christmas, the vibes, everything. It's so good. This is my favorite time of year. It also happens to be my birthday, so maybe I'm a bit biased, but I just also love the holiday time. Everything about it, the lights, the vibes, the movies, guys, I eat it up. So I'm wishing you guys an amazing holiday season. Love you. I'll talk to you later. I'm leaving for the Bahamas in a few hours, so I gotta go. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Bye. Let's get real.